Everyone. My name is Kristen, and I am the Associate Director of Alumni Relations here at Regis. Thank you for joining us today. Please go ahead and mute your computers during this session, and you can allow your video to work as well. At the end of the session, we will join in a group photo, and I'd like to welcome our instructor for the next 45 minutes, Alyssa from the class of 2007. Alyssa attended Regis College from 2003 to 2005, where she studied business and psychology and was a member of the dance company. Alyssa is now a dance teacher and a certified Hatha Vinyasa yoga teacher. She lives in the Pioneer Valley and teaches regularly to students of all ages. Her yoga classes encourage self-inquiry through breath-based movement and meditation, and she aims to create a safe and loving environment where all persons can practice and heal. Alyssa's favorite memory from Regis were the dance parties. Alyssa, thank you so much for leading us in yoga today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yay. So if you want to show your video, you can start your video at any time. But if you don't feel comfortable, that's totally fine too. You don't have to start your video. And if you do want to unmute yourself at the beginning or at the end just to say hi, I would love it. But again, also optional. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here. We're going to do a 45-minute flow to release and feel good, which is what we advertised. So personally, what is most beneficial for me with yoga is to breathe well and to move with intention. Those are the two things that I get the most out of with yoga. So my practice kind of changes day to day depending on what I'm needing, but those are the two things that I really try to focus on is moving on purpose and really breathing well. So what that means is, when appropriate, having a nice long spine, a long neck, just keeping the airway passage open, because really to me, that's the most important thing. If you're breathing well and you're moving, you're doing yoga. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I have my assistant here today. This is Luna. She's my 6-month-old Chihuahua mix puppy. So I would recommend, we're going to use some props today. I would recommend having 2 blocks. And if you don't have blocks, what I find is helpful are large books or even empty Tupperware containers. So the goal is just to bring the floor a little bit closer to us. So if you have 2, I would place them around the top of your mat. And then a bolster or a large pillow or even a rolled up blanket can be really nice. We're going to use this for Shavasana. So if you have something that can look like this to support you, that will be nice. An eye pillow or even like a rolled up shirt to place over your eyes over Shavasana can be really lovely. So if you have something like that, go ahead and grab it. We'll have a strap nearby, a yoga strap or a belt, a dog leash, a long sleeve shirt, a towel, anything that can be used like a strap would be helpful. And then the last thing is a blanket. And to start, we're going to use this folded up in a square like this. And I just like to use it to sit on sometimes because it helps kind of tilt my pelvis forward a little bit so I have a nice long spine. So I'll give everyone just a minute or two to find props if you're using them. And we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So like I said, I like to sit off of the blanket just a little bit, just kind of sit on the edge of it. It just helps my back not to round so much when I'm sitting because I have a tendency to do that. So go ahead and get comfy. I recommend a cross-legged position, but you certainly don't have to if this is uncomfortable. You can have your legs out straight or even sit in a chair. And then just give yourself enough time to settle in. So one of the most challenging things about yoga, I think for me, is transitioning into class, because we're often like rushing to class, or something just happened before class, or we have a million things to do after class. So we kind of rush this first part. So I want to encourage you to take your time and really settle in. Maybe move the flesh a little bit so you can feel your sit bones a little bit more into the mat. Maybe you want to soften your gaze or even close your eyes. And we're just going to start by grounding down. So nothing crazy to do just yet. Just notice what is around you. Notice the sounds that you're hearing. Notice the feeling of cloth on your skin, the hairs on the back of your neck or your forehead maybe. The ground underneath you, holding you, supporting you. And taking a deep breath in and out, allow your shoulders to soften down. Maybe your arms soften a little bit more. So there's no wrong way to do this. We're just grounding ourselves. We're settling in, preparing our bodies for this practice. Take another deep breath in. Let it go out your mouth. And as you start to go inwards, let the external noise and sensations kind of fall away and just become a soundtrack to your practice. Turn more of your attention inward. Maybe notice if there is a part of your body that's speaking to you right now. Sometimes when I'm feeling anxious, I close my eyes and breathe, and then I notice that I have a huge tightness in my chest that I didn't even know was there. So much of yoga is just about quieting down and listening, noticing what's happening. Breathing into it to release. Take one last deep inhale. Let it go and gently flutter your eyes open if they were closed. We'll start with a very gentle twist. So we're just going to twist over to the left side very, very gently. No need to go full force here. And take a breath here. And as you exhale, bring yourself back to center and go ahead to the right, or whichever way you didn't go before. We'll always do both sides. And bringing yourself back to center. Take an inhale and lift from the seat of your spine through the crown of your head. Feel all that space in your spine between your vertebrae. And then go ahead and tuck your chin to your chest. Start to roll your head around to one side. You want to try to keep the spine nice and long and the shoulders away from the ears. We're just warming up the neck. Take your time here. Pause if you find there's a place where you need to work out the kinks. Your eyes can be open or closed, whatever is more comfortable for you. The next time your chin meets your chest, go ahead and reverse the direction. Always keeping in mind that the right and the left side rarely feel the same because we're not perfectly symmetrical. We're not perfect, nor should we be. And go ahead and bring your chin to your chest and then roll your head back up, stacking head over heart, heart over pelvis. Ooh, words are hard sometimes. All right, let's take an inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling, and exhale, press the air down, bring your palms to face the ground. Inhale, sweep it up, and exhale, press the air down. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, press the air down. Go ahead and take your left hand to the ground. Reach your right arm up and over. Keep both sit bones on the ground if you can. We're breathing here. Use your next inhale to lift your arm back up to the ceiling and then drop it down. Same thing, other side, reaching the right arm, left arm up and over. Trying to maintain equal weight in both hips. Use your inhale to bring you back through center. Drop the arm down. One more each side. Sweep the right arm up and over. Maybe this time you open up your chest a little bit and look up to the ceiling. Use your inhale to lift up. Exhale to come down. Other side. Left arm goes up and over. Maybe opening up the chest a little bit, looking to the ceiling. And using an inhale to come up, exhale to release. Good. Let's extend the legs and just shake them out a little bit. Just shake them out. Maybe wiggle the shoulders, point and flex the feet. And then if you're using a cross-legged position, go ahead and come back into it, but take the other foot in front. All right, and again, taking a moment to settle in, and then we're gonna reach forward and up. Lift the shoulders up to your ears, and then drop just the shoulders down. Notice the difference there. Inhale, bring the shoulders up. As you exhale, melt your arms down to the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up. Shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, drop the shoulders, melt the arms down. Inhale, reach forward and up. Lift the shoulders. Exhale, drop the shoulders, melt the arms down. Good. Let's bring the hands to the knees here. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. So if your hands aren't on your knees, they can be on the side. So we're going to inhale and bring the chest forward. A little bit of an arch here. And then as you exhale, pull your belly button to your spine to round back as if you got punched in the belly, which hopefully none of you ever have or will. Inhale, bring your chest forward. Exhale, round back. Inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale to round back. Feel free to go at your own pace here. It does not have to match mine. We just want to inhale on the arch, exhale on the round. And then I like to play with movement here. So if you want to add some circles here, maybe going right to left, feel free. Just make sure that you reverse the direction. And we're warming up the spine, the chest, shoulders, the head and neck. And then finish your little playful movement and come back to a place of neutrality. Neutrality, is that a word? All right, we're going to do another twist and we're going to see if we can go a little bit deeper this time. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Maybe extend your arms a bit more than they were before, and maybe your head goes a little bit farther to the left this time. Think about twisting from your belly button rather than forcing it from your chest. Take a nice deep inhale here and use your exhale to bring you back to center. Next inhale, rise your arms up. Exhale over to the right side. And again, maybe you go a little bit further, maybe you don't. Either way is fine with me. Take a big inhale here. And exhale to bring it back to center. Good. Let's roll the wrists out a little bit. So just some circles, nothing fancy. Actually, no, let's do something fancy. Let's do some motion of the ocean. This is one of my favorites. And then maybe reverse. Good for the brain. And if you want a little extra stretch, you can extend your arms, pull your fingertips back towards your body. And same thing, other side. All right, good. So we're gonna come into a downward facing dog. We're gonna take our time getting there. So if you're using a blanket, take it off to the side. Come onto your hands and knees. We call this a tabletop position. So hands are right under shoulders, knees are right under the hips. We're gonna tuck the toes here, and we're gonna come into downward facing dog, but keep the knees bent. So keep the knees very, very bent and press the hips up and back to extend the arms. The reason we're keeping the knees bent for now is just to feel this lengthen and the stretch in the upper to mid back. And then slowly you can start to extend your knees, maybe one at a time, pedaling it out or walking the dog, as they say. Breathing on purpose. Good. Now we'll re-bend the knees and we're going to walk the hands to the feet. So you're walking to the back of your mat. Keep staying in your forward fold and you're going to bring your elbows together. Reach for your elbows. Come into a ragdoll position. So we want to have a little bend in the knees here. We don't want to lock the knees. And just drop your head. Let your neck release. You can shake your head no, nod it yes. This is a great stretch for the low back, if that's an area of tension for you. Go ahead and release your elbows, bend your knees a lot, and slowly roll up. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Ah, we've arrived. All right, let's take a walk around the mat. So we're just saying hello to all four corners of our mat here. Maybe you want to grab a drink of water. Maybe you want to get a little bit of a stretch that we didn't do. And then I like to just kind of shake things out. So we're just going to shake the wrists. Just whatever tension, whatever is clinging to you, just get it out. Just shake the wrist, up and back. Or like pretend like you're having a drum solo. Like you're having a big, moment on the drums here. That's what we're doing right now. Just shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And then let it go into the feet too. Shake out the wrist. Nope, these are ankles. Shake out the ankles. Maybe you want a little dancing around the mat. The mat is a great place to be goofy. So just let it go. All right. Once you got it out, let's take a wide stance. And we're just going to breathe in. So we're going to bend the knees and breathe in. Exhale, bend and round forward. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, send it out. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, let it go. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. One more inhale. And then we're just going to drop the arms down by the sides. Nice. All right, let's come to the top of the mat and bring the feet just a comfortable distance, maybe right under the hips. And I come into Tadasana. So first notice if your weight is more in your toes or your heels, and see if you can balance that out a bit. Maybe rock back and forth. Maybe your weight more on the outside of your feet or the inside. So we're just being very mindful about our weight in our feet. We're pressing down through all four corners and lifting up through the inner arches as well. Tiny little micro bend in the knees, just enough that we're not locking. We don't want to lock the knees. So just a micro bend. We're shining the heart forward. Maybe you lift your shoulders up like we did in the warm-up and then draw them back and down, really opening up your chest. Let your arms dangle by your sides and your palms face forward. Maybe close your eyes here. Notice how in this very simple posture, we can feel so powerful. Maybe you can even feel energy or heat running throughout your body after we just shook everything up. Draw your belly button in towards your spine, lengthening your tailbone down. Let's breathe in and reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. And then we're going to swan dive down over the legs. So we're folding forward down over the legs. There's an option here if your blocks. You can place your hands on your blocks. And just let your head go. Maybe again, notice if your weight has shifted into your heels and bring it back into balance. Breathing here in your forward fold. Just let gravity do its job. From here, I want you to imagine that you have a string coming out the top of your head and that I'm pulling it towards the top of your mat. So you're going to lift your head and your chest up, coming into almost a flat back. It does not in any way have to be a perfect flat back, but we're lengthening the spine here. So imagine something is pulling you from the top of your head towards the front of your mat. Take a couple breaths here. And then use an exhale to fold back over your legs. Bend your knees, roll all the way up to standing. Good. Roll the shoulders out if it feels good. So we're going to do all that again. We're going to move a little bit faster. We're going to move into what we call a vinyasa. So a vinyasa is really any sequence where you're syncing your breath to the movement. So we're going to use this as our sequence. And your breath does not have to be perfect. Don't let that stress you out, as I did for many years. So, but we're aiming to have like one inhale to each movement, one exhale to each movement. So I'll show you what I mean. So you can watch for a second. So we would inhale here, and we would exhale to fold over. And then we would inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold, inhale to come all the way back up, and exhale to heart center. So this is what we would call a vinyasa. And vinyasas can look like many different things, but we're syncing the breath to the movement. So let's go ahead and try a few of these. Again, maybe put your blocks at the top of your mat just for some added extra support and comfort. Feet will be about hip distance apart. Lengthening the tailbone down, drawing energy up through your feet. Go ahead and use your next inhale to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Use your exhale, if it's comfortable, to fold forward. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Feel that string pulling you forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, sweep the arms out to come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your palms together down towards your heart. Let's do that again. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale to lengthen the spine, a little flat back. Exhale, release over your legs. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Bring the palms together and exhale, take it down to your heart. If it's comfortable, let's do one more. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to fold over. Let it become meditative. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale to heart center. Awesome. All right, let's shake that one out. Take another little walk around your mat or a little dancing. I am a strong believer in incorporating dancing into all aspects of life, really, but I do enjoy incorporating it into yoga. All right. So when you're ready, we're going to meet at the top of the mat, feet about hip distance apart. We're going to bring the hands to the hips and take the left foot back about a leg distance behind you. Okay, so not too far. And then we want to dial the left toes out to about 10 o'clock. If this is uncomfortable here, you can always step the feet out to take a wider stance. Okay, so once we're here, hands are to the hips. We're going to bend into that right knee. Now, if you find that you can't see your toes, you may need to lengthen your stance a bit because we always want that front knee to be at a right angle. So we're bending here into warrior one. Our hips are generally facing the front of the mat. We're pressing down through the back pinky toe of our left foot. Maybe you reach your arms up. Feel energy coming out through your fingertips. Feel how powerful and strong you are. From here, we're going to open up to warrior two. So we're going to shift the chest and the hips over to the side, facing the long edge of your mat, the left side. And again, if you find that now you're going over your front knee, you might need to widen your stance. So we went from warrior one to warrior two because that's what we are. It's always cheesy when I say that, but I don't care. From here, take an inhale, straighten both legs, bring your arms up over your head. And then as you exhale, bend back into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the legs, bring the arms up overhead, maybe look at your hands. Exhale to warrior two. Press down through your feet. Inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the leg. And exhale, warrior two. From here, we're going to reverse the warrior. So take your left hand to your left thigh. Reach the right arm up as you come back, opening the chest. Take one more breath here. You got this. And windmill the arms to come back to warrior two. We're going to move through to warrior one. So we're facing the front of the mat here. And then we're going to step with as much control as we can. We're going to step to the top of the mat. So bending into that front knee, take it all the way up. Woo, ouch, a little burn there. And let's just fold forward. Let's not let that one go. Maybe bend the knees a little bit. And then let's roll it up. So bend both knees, roll all the way up to standing. and we'll go ahead and do the second side. So I'm going to move to the back of my mat just so I can still face you. So starting from the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart to start. Let's take the right leg back about a distance behind you. Hands to hips. We'll dial the right toes out to about 2 o'clock. Our hips are generally facing the front of the mat, and then we'll bend into that front knee. Again, see if you notice you can't see your toes, widen your stance. Lengthen and widen. Find what feels good. Press down through your back pinky toe, almost as if you're going to rip the mat in two. We're pressing down so much, we're gripping the mat. Inhale, take the arms up. From here, we're going to open to warrior two, shifting the chest and the hips to the right side now. Maybe you want to lengthen your stance. Strong warriors. Especially now, right? We're worrying every day. Inhale, straighten the legs, take the arms up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, take the arms up, straighten the legs, maybe look up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, take the arms up, straighten the legs. Exhale, warrior two. Here we go. Option to reverse your warrior. Right arm comes down to the back thigh. Left arm comes up and over. Keep the chest open. And bring it back, warrior two. Here we shift to warrior one, facing the top of the mat. And then with control, with all that strength, press and step to the top of the mat. And let's fold forward. Bend the knees, shake it out, maybe shake your head. Yes. And the knees to roll up. Woo! All right, we're feeling the burn. Well, me and Luna are. All right, let's take another, just walk, jog around the mat. So shake out the ankles, shake out the wrists, shake the head. Maybe you want to even dance a little bit. I do. I want to dance today. Just feels good sometimes to just like be silly and not care. Woo! Maybe take some jumps. Luna thinks I'm crazy. And maybe I am. That's okay. Not maybe. Definitely. All right. So when you're done with your dance party, let's meet at the top of the mat and place one hand over your heart center and your other hand over that first hand. So both hands over the heart center. Go ahead and close your eyes if it's comfortable. Press into that heart space and feel your heart beating. This amazing reminder that we are alive and thriving. We are full of vitality. We are powerful. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Bring the palms of your hands together and send your hands up to the ceiling. Look at your palms and then open and swan dive down over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, come to a little flat back. And exhale to fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and step back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. We're going to inhale and bring our body parallel to the ground. So we're coming into a plank pose here. Take the knees down to the ground and lower everything down. Lower your belly down to the ground. Walk your hands out so they may come off the mat a little bit. We want to have the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Tops of the feet on the ground. If this is uncomfortable, you can tuck your toes. And then we're going to lift the head and the chest and come into Sphinx pose. So we don't want to lift the head too much and have a crunch in the neck. Just lift it a little bit. And almost like you're pulling your chest through your shoulders. It's like you're pressing down into the mat so much that you're almost pulling yourself forward. You won't move, but you'll be engaging the muscles there. Deep breath. And let it go. Make a pillow with your hands for your forehead. Bend your knees and just windshield wiper your feet side to side. Bring your feet down to the mat. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to lift up to tabletop. Take one more downward dog if you'd like to. You can skip this one if you want. And then come on down to your back. So however you want to get there is fine with me. And then make sure that your bolster or your pillow or rolled up blanket is nearby. So we're going to come down to the ground and just rest for a moment. You can have your knees bent or straight. Just notice what you feel. And again, there's no right or wrong. You don't have to feel good. If this is, of course, if you're having pain, then yes, stop and please take care of yourself. But we don't always have to feel joyful. It's okay to feel other things. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel scared. We just let the emotions come and go. Remembering that nothing stays, nothing is permanent. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around them if you'd like. This is where a strap can be really useful. You kind of extend the length of your arms to get the knees. And just rock side to side. From here, let's open the arms up to a T position and then drop both knees over to the right. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can take your head over to the left. And maybe you want to place your right hand on top of your left knee for that extra little twist. If that doesn't feel good, then don't do it. Starting to slow down our breath. Gently start to bring your knees back to center. Give yourself a little squeeze because we're awesome and we deserve a hug. And then go ahead and move to the other side. So bring the arms back out to a T position, dropping the knees to the left side. If it's comfortable, you can take your head to the right. And then for a little extra, you can place your left hand over the right knee. Gently release, bring your knees back to center. And then I encourage you to play with movement a little bit. So for me, sometimes I like to bring my hands to my knees and just make circles, bringing the knees out wide and then back together. Maybe you want to roll out the ankles and just kind of see what feels good here. You can just give yourself a squeeze and massage the back, maybe. And then we'll move into happy baby. So first stop on the bus here is to grab the back of the thighs. We want to bring the soles of the feet up so they're parallel with the ceiling-ish. And we're drawing the knees down towards the armpits. Another option is to grab the soles of the feet. And then we just rock side to side. And if you fall over, then you're just like everyone else who's ever done this pose. One time I fell over so many times I couldn't stop laughing. I just thought it was so funny. Because it is a funny pose. And just allow a smile to come across your face as you imagine some cute baby that you know doing this pose naturally. It's like seeing a celebrity when you see a baby do happy baby or a dog doing downward dog. So exciting. All right, we'll gently bring the feet back together. Place the soles of your feet down on the mat, wide as the mat, and then just knock your knees in towards the center. You can bring your hands down by your sides if you like, or overhead if you want to open up the chest a little bit more. And then starting to move into Shavasana, which is our final pose, our pose of rest. And what I like to do, and what I would encourage you to do, to try today, is to take that bolster or pillow or rolled up blanket or towel and place it under your knees. It's just a little extra support there, and it can help straighten out the back a little bit. I also really enjoy putting a blanket right over my hips. It just helps me feel a little bit more grounded. You can take your eye pillow or your scarf or shirt and place it right over your eyes. So just finding whatever props you want to use for Shavasana. Maybe you want to grab your dog or your cat too. Snuggle up with them. Go ahead and snuggle the shoulders together. And let's all take the deepest breath we've taken all day. Let it out with a sigh. Let it go. Go ahead and soften your gaze. Maybe close your eyes. Allowing yourself to completely enjoy the next moment or two. As thoughts come and go, just gently Take them by the hand and lead them back to your breath. It's always coming back to your breath. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, bringing some gentle movement back into your fingers and toes. Maybe rocking your head side to side. And then without disturbing yourself too much, go ahead and make your way over to your right side. And just pausing for a moment. When you're ready, you can bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. And keeping the eyes very soft or closed. Just take one last moment to notice if there's a difference between how you're feeling now and how you felt when we started. Let's take one last deep breath in. Exhaling, bring the palms of your hands together at heart center. I thank you so much for joining me today, practicing, sharing, being vulnerable together. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. Namaste.